Exclusive contracted novel by Feilu Novel Network. Just became a purple-robed Heavenly Master, system rewards Emperor armor crossing parallel worlds, Zhang Wei became the new Taoist Heavenly Master of Longhu Mountain. This world is experiencing a miraculous revival. It is eerie everywhere, with demons and evil spirits wreaking havoc on the world. Fortunately, in the inheritance ceremony, Zhang Wei activates the Taoist Heavenly Master system, obtaining a 100-year cultivation of Heavenly Master degree and a full-level golden light curse at the beginning. It is also possible to eliminate demons by slaying them, and complete tasks to obtain various incredible rewards. 5 Thunder Correct Method. Tongtian Lu. Divine Machine, 100 refinements in addition to various supernatural means. The most outrageous thing is that Zhang Wei was recognized by the will of the Heavenly Dao and obtained the Emperor's armor. Even the Flame Dragon armor, one of the 5 elements. In Zhang Wei's hands, they have all transformed and upgraded. Explosive Flame Dragon Emperor. Subsequently, girls with the bloodline of the Light and Shadow Village kept coming to their homes, as well as the 1000-year White Snake, 9-tailed Demon Fox, and Zombie MotherAll were subdued by Zhang Wei. The eternal Zombie King is not afraid of thunder and lightning. Zhang Wei. Little zombies have some tricks, but if you're not afraid of the Heavenly Master Lei Fa, you have some understanding of the 5 saints of the Heavenly Way. Emperor's armor. Combining. Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. 1. Just become a celestial master, the system rewards Emperor armor. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Yangcheng, Longhu Mountain. It's early summer. The bright sun shines in the sky, casting a golden light on a towering mountain peak. From a distance, it looks like a fairy mountain, which is awe-inspiring. Sigh at the incredible natural scenery. At this moment, on the mountain peak. On the outer side of Tianxia Mansion. On a sunny day, a handsome young man is lazily leaning on a lounge chair, enjoying the sunshine bath at noon. A slightly disheveled robe on the body, indicating his identity. He is a little Taoist. Squint your eyes slightly. While yawning comfortably, the young Taoist slid his phone screen as if browsing through something. Shocked, a man from a certain university died in the women's restroom, suspected to be a fierce ghost demanding his life. The 2.5 female corpses mysteriously disappeared from the morgue, and it is initially suspected that they were stolen by humans. Is this a distortion of human nature or a decline in morality? Late at night in the dense forest, a young couple exercising and discovering a figure jumping and walking, suspected to be a zombie. On the screen, there is a post with a somewhat headline party style, filled with words such as ghosts and zombies, making it even more terrifying and absurd. TSK 2.5. Half of the female corpse needs to be stolen. I'm afraid it wasn't some little black guy who did it. Looking at the title of one of the posts, the young Taoist said roast. And the next post. Ignoring the zombies in the latter half, he can guarantee with his personality that this young couple's exercise and fitness is fake, and the pursuit of excitement is real. Late at night also found a dense forest. Yo, is that okay? It's quite enjoyable to play. Besides eating melons, after seeing these posts. On his face, a hint of worry emerged. The little Taoist named Zhang Wei is a traveler who has just arrived in this world for a few days. I don't know if it's due to the revival of spiritual energy or some other reason, but it seems that there are many demons and monsters in this world, although the official has not come forward to refute or explain them. But various types of posts emerging endlessly. It is enough to prove the authenticity of the existence of these demons and monsters. And Zhang Wei, who has just crossed over. Still in a daze. He was approached by a white-bearded old man with a fairy-like appearance and kind eyes, calling him a rare cultivator in the world. Even though he was taken as his own disciple, he was brought back to Longhu Mountain and directly designated as the successor of the next generation of celestial masters. Seemingly limitless in scenery. The future is limitless. However, I don't know if it's lonely or for some reason, the Heavenly Master Mansion it should be said that there are only Old Master and Zhang Wei, who have just been brought back, up and down the entire Longhu Mountain. As a lone seedling. A few days. This old celestial master imparted some Taoist knowledge and gave some things to Zhang Wei without hesitation. Then he passed away and passed away. It seems like the lifespan is over. I don't know if it's the passing of immortality or the emergence of the true fruit of cultivation. Leave Zhang Wei, who is still somewhat confused. As the next Heavenly Master. Defend Longhu Mountain alone. Faced with such a world dominated by demons and monsters, although Old Master had taught Zhang Wei many extraordinary Taoist techniques before his passing, he had the famous Golden Light Curse and Thunder technique. But that is ultimately paper knowledge. It's enough to memorize it. Even the authenticity of holding thunder and protecting oneself with golden light remains to be studied, as in memory. Not to mention mastering these magical powers like superpowers. If there are really ghosts and monsters coming to your door. Nowadays, Zhang Wei sits in the entire Heavenly Master Mansion. I'm afraid we can only wait to die. But fortunately, Longhu Mountain, where the Heavenly Master Mansion is located, seems to be filled with a bright and righteous atmosphere as a Taoist stronghold, and those possibly existing evil spirits dare not step into the surrounding area at all. At least for these few days. Zhang Wei, I have never seen any of those so-called demons, ghosts, and monsters. So as long as you stay in the Heavenly Master's Mansion, it is absolutely safe. Sit up from the lounge chair. Glancing around, there was a dignified yet somewhat outdated hall building on the side that seemed to have declined. Thinking of one's identity as a celestial teacher, Zhang Wei felt a bit tired and helpless. I'm afraid that in the future, if the buildings of the Heavenly Master's Mansion are old and dilapidated, and I can't even afford to repair them for half a penny, then I will truly become the most miserable Heavenly Master in history. Even so, the inheritance of the Heavenly Master was directly cut off in my own generation. That's almost it. With a sigh in his heart, Zhang Wei looked up at the sun above his head. Whispered softly. I immediately put away my phone. Quickly get up. Walk towards the magnificent and imposing hall of the Heavenly Master Mansion on your side. Inside the main hall. In no time, Zhang Wei had already changed into another outfit. Walking into the hall, whether through the main or side doors, one is sure to attract attention, making it the most eye-catching statue. The previously messy plain white robe. It has been replaced. Instead, it was a purple Taoist robe filled with an indescribable sense of majesty and dignity. Heron, it's the Taoist robe of the Heavenly Master. Even by the Old Master. Designated as the successor of the next Heavenly Master. But that's just verbal. Only through the ceremony of inheriting the Heavenly Master can Zhang Wei's current identity as the Heavenly Master be fully established. And now it's noon. It is the Heavenly Master who informed Zhang Wei of the timing of the ceremony before returning to the west with a crane. Sitting upright on a futon. Zhang Wei, with a solemn expression, put 3 sandalwood sticks into the incense burner. Daoling ancestor is above. Descendant disciple Zhang Wei paid his respects and came to the ceremony of inheriting the Heavenly Master according to the Master's last wish. He will succeed as the 65th generation Heavenly Master of the Heavenly Master Mansion and be given the name Tian Tong by the Master. As Zhang Wei's words fell. In the dark, there was a glint of light on the statue of the founder of Daoling, as if a gaze had penetrated through layers of space and landed on Zhang Wei in front of the statue. After a moment, it seemed like admitting. Zhang Wei's inheritance of the current celestial master is average. The wisps of light dissipated. And these strange phenomena were being focused on worshipping, asking the founder of Taoism to bless his new celestial master not to mess too badly. Zhang Wei, who had learned the Taoist magic and supernatural powers as soon as possible, did not notice them at all. When the ceremony of inheriting the Heavenly Master ends, Zhang Wei just planned to get up. Suddenly, he appeared solemn and stunned, only because a vague and intangible voice sounded in his mind. Ding! Detected that the host inherits the position of Heavenly Master. Activate the Taoist Heavenly Master system. The sound echoed in my mind, with a mechanical, ding, prompt sound. Like the most beautiful rhythm in the world. Sleeping slot. This is has Daoling ancestor appeared. I just finished visiting. Surprisingly, it activated a standard system for travelers. In Zhang Wei's days, the mysterious and elusive system prompt sound suddenly rang out again. Congratulations on the host binding system. The host can earn rewards such as points by completing system-triggered tasks and defeating demons and killing evil spirits. Initial rewards will be issued soon. Do you want to claim it? Claim. Without any hesitation, Zhang Wei, who had come to his senses, immediately made a choice. Just kidding. If you choose to refuse at this time, what is the difference between being kicked in the head by a donkey? Ding. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the inheritance of the Heavenly Master's 100-year cultivation. Ding. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the Golden Light Curse, at full level. When the reward prompt fell, the two rewards mentioned caught Zhang Wei's eye, but he didn't wait for him to recover from the excitement. Then another warning sound came on. Zhang Wei was completely confused. That's right, just confused. If Zhang Wei received rewards related to the Taoist Heavenly Master's 100-year cultivation inheritance and the Golden Light Mantra, he would be extremely ecstatic in his heart. There is no doubt at all. I just feel normal. So, the reward prompt sound that will sound next. Bring it to Zhang Wei. It's the instinctive suspicion of hearing something wrong. Ding. Detected that the host's Heavenly Master Dao is Tian Tong Ren, and vice versa is also Ren Ren Tong Tian. Recognized by the will of the Heavenly Dao and awarded a special reward. Emperor Armor. When the sound dissipates, there is no further movement. Zhang Weifang slowly regained consciousness from his bewildered state, his gaze fixed on the air ahead with a somewhat dull expression. Did you hear me right? The special reward is Emperor's Armor. 2. Refining and returning to emptiness, innate realm. The armor of the Heavenly Way. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Emperor Armor. Sleeping trough. Sitting cross-legged on a futon, at this moment Zhang Wei sincerely murmured with national essence. To express the inner shock. Compared to the second reward received by oneself, Emperor Armor. That Heavenly Master's 100-year cultivation inheritance reward. And full-level Golden Light Curse. It doesn't seem that important anymore. The reward has been distributed as the system prompts, the sound will come on. Boom. Like thunder on the flat ground. Zhang Wei felt his mind suddenly empty, trapped in a mysterious and ethereal state, and a surging force appeared in his body out of thin air. It seems to be what Taoism calls qi. Penetrating Zhang Wei's limbs at an extremely fast speed. The body erupted like a volcano. Make a loud roar. Zhang Wei's body underwent earth-shattering changes in just a short breath. Like a rebirth. The Dantian has transformed into a vast sea of energy. That is 100-year cultivation. What it brings. The most intuitive manifestation is Zhang Wei's appearance and physique. A handsome face. More fair-looking. And under the purple Taoist robe of the Heavenly Master. Zhang Wei's body seemed to suddenly swell and bulge. Slightly prop up the Taoist robe of the Heavenly Master. It can be said that it perfectly matches what it means to have a slim and slender figure when dressed, while undressing means having a strong and muscular figure with 8-pack abs. So, it's as if steel has undergone the same changes as craftsman's repeated refinement and casting. End after counting. As Zhang Wei exhaled a mouthful of turbid air. Slowly open your eyes. His eyes were as bright and divine as black agate stars at this moment. And the original expression state. It's completely different. Zhang Wei only felt that his current self was full of strength. His body is exceptionally light. Seems like a casual punch. It can crush stones. Stepping lightly, one can soar into the sky like a bird. In that moment, he had transformed from an ordinary person with the identity of a celestial master to a true Taoist celestial master, perfectly fitting his current Taoist title. Tongtian Taoist. On the contrary, it is humanity that connects to heaven. So strong. Fists clenched and released, feeling the surging power inside. Zhang Wei's face was full of smiles. And besides a completely transformed body. At this time, Zhang Wei. I can clearly feel that the Taoist techniques matched with the vast and sea-like energy in my body are deeply imprinted in my mind like instincts, like the golden light curse that can be freely used. At the same time. In front of him, it seemed that only he could see the light curtain panel emerging. Host. Zhang Wei, realm. Refining God and returning to void, early innate, Taoist technique. Golden light mantra, full level, armor of the Heavenly Way, unique. Emperor armor, flame dragon, wind eagle, black rhinoceros, snow mastiff, land tiger, Dao tool. Heavenly Master Dao robe, item. None, integral. 0, can be used for reward extraction, improving Taoist techniques, realms, and tools. Look at the information on the panel. Zhang Wei's smile is even stronger. His realm, after obtaining 100 years of cultivation from the Heavenly Master, actually directly reached the level of refining gods and returning emptiness. That is to say, it undergoes transformation from day to day. Stepping into the realm of innate nature. The cultivation level of Taoism is basically divided into 5 levels. Building a foundation and refining oneself, refining essence and transforming Qi, refining Qi and transforming spirit, refining spirit and returning to emptiness, and refining emptiness and combining the Tao. At this moment, Zhang Wei has reached his 4th level. Take it one more level. You can reach the realm of refining the void and combining the Tao. According to the Heavenly Master. In these days, I have been imparting a lot of Taoist knowledge to Zhang Wei. Above the path of refining deficiency. It's just that immortal. And Zhang Wei, only 2 realms away from the legendary feathered immortal. At present, this opening is simply perfect. But soon. Zhang Wei's gaze shifted away from the Taoist techniques and realm on the light curtain panel, and then fell on the armor of the Heavenly Dao, which represented the Emperor's armor. Immediately, he quickly looked into his palm. On that thing that appeared out of thin air. A cold touch. Appearing compact. The black and white dual-color separation blends, presenting on both sides of the surface like yin-yang taiji, emitting a shimmering light. Impressively, it is summoning the Emperor's armor. As important as a belt Tai Chi crystal. Staring at the Tai Chi crystal in his palm, Zhang Wei seemed to penetrate through layers of space and saw the scorching dragon wielding the fire element soaring in the volcanic sky in a world of radiance like the sun. Defend the south. Black rhinoceros that controls water elements. Standing in the sea of waterfalls. Defend the north. Sharp as a blade, wielding the golden element of the snow mastiff. Defend the west. Ill as the wind, Su Rulin controls the wind eagle of wood elements. Defend the east. A land tiger as thick as the earth, wielding earth elements. Guard the center. These represent the armor of the 5 elements. Sitting in the 5-sided area. And above the sky. In the Ming realm, the golden dragon, shining like the sun, seems to be the king of light fused by the five elements, emitting a brilliant heavenly power to guard the entire world. Emperor. These 6 elemental incarnations contain the ultimate armor of terrifying power. It seems that all Zhang Wei needs is a thought. It can be summoned out. It's true. At this moment, there was an instinctive suspicion that I had heard wrong. Completely dissipate the smoke and clouds. After all, even if a Taoist is a celestial teacher. But with the Emperor's armor. What kind of relationship can it be related to? But now, Zhang Wei has already confirmed that he has truly gained recognition from the will of the Heavenly Way. Having Emperor armor. And it's not like the limitation of blood concentration in the drama. Zhang Wei, who has been recognized by the Heavenly Way. Just like the Heavenly Way itself. Using the Emperor's armor will be more terrifying and powerful than reaching a blood concentration of over 90%, like the Heavenly Dao's fight against the sun. Yes, the power of the Emperor's armor. Play to the extreme. This naturally excited Zhang Wei immensely. Looking at the Tai Chi crystal in my hand. Zhang Wei.Pa had some ideas and immediately summoned the Emperor's armor to test his strength. Not waiting for him to take any action. His ears trembled. After inheriting 100 years of cultivation and undergoing a complete transformation, he is now naturally different from his previous state as an ordinary person. He has faintly heard some movements from outside the Heavenly Master Mansion. It seems like an outsider has arrived. Or, perhaps, is there a sneaky presence? Regarding this, Zhang Wei has no worries at all. Even some expectations. After all, compared to himself half an hour ago, he now possesses extraordinary power, if it were really those demons and monsters. Zhang Wei happens to be able to make a move. While looking at my current strength. Also, let those demons know. The Heavenly Master's mansion on Longhu Mountain will be a forbidden area that all evil forces in the world cannot step on, and if touched, they will die. Gaze at that position with both eyes. Think for a moment. Zhang Wei also dispelled the idea of immediately summoning armor to test it. Looking at the Tai Chi crystal in the palm of my hand. Zhang Wei lifted his left hand. Fingertips swipe through the air, and the energy inside the body surges along with a strand of golden light flickering at the fingertips. A golden flow mark appears wherever the finger passes. Like a thin thread. Passing through the small hole at the top of the Tai Chi crystal. Like a necklace. Hanged by Zhang Wei on his neck. This hand is a golden thread. It vividly demonstrates the practicality of the Golden Light Mantra and also reflects the strength of the full-level Golden Light Mantra mastered by Zhang Wei. After completing this action, immediately, Zhang Wei turned towards the outside of the hall. Walk slowly. At the same time, on the outer side of the Heavenly Master Mansion, there are steep cliffs hanging over Longhu Mountain as a must-pass road. On artificially constructed wooden bridges and boardwalks. A beautiful shadow. With both hands tightly gripping the railings on both sides of the wooden bridge and boardwalk, his face appeared somewhat pale, and his gaze trembled slightly as he looked at the abyssal height below the wooden bridge and boardwalk. Clearly afraid of heights. I'm a bit scared. There is no doubt that if you fall, you will inevitably end up in pieces. Even standing on the wooden bridge and boardwalk. But the fear in my heart. But it remains the same. But she was biting her red lips tightly. Force yourself to overcome the fear in your heart. At a slow speed. Moving on the wooden bridge and boardwalk, towards the majestic and dignified Heavenly Master's mansion at the end of the line of sight. Walk slowly. 3. Cold and beautiful Bai Enjing, please come to your door. Task. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Who? Finally. It's here. On the other end of the wooden bridge and boardwalk, on the peaceful mountain ground. A beautiful figure walking to the finish line. I breathed a heavy sigh of relief. Whispering softly. It's like just now, experiencing a life and death crisis. After feeling relieved of the burden. A pair of beautiful eyes, with a hint of melancholy, looked at the magnificent building ahead of them. That famous one. Tongtian Mansion. For those who are afraid of heights, they want to reach the Heavenly Master Mansion built on Longhu Mountain. No less than experiencing the 90.980.1 difficulties. Heaven knows the Heavenly Master's Mansion. Why, it needs to be built at the top of Longhu Mountain. If it is located at the foot of the mountain. Isn't it beautiful? Quickly, Quenching took another step and walked towards the Heavenly Master's mansion ahead. After stepping into the magnificent building. What caught the eye? Surprisingly, the young figure leaning on a recliner outside the hall, leisurely sunbathing, happened in the somewhat solemn Tongtian Mansion in my impression. There is some discord. Isn't that the old master? In Quenching's eyes, a hint of doubt flashed first. For the young Taoist in front of me. Extremely unfamiliar. But immediately, she walked briskly towards the young Taoist. Are you here? As she approaches. On the lounge chair, Zhang Wei continued to enjoy sunbathing for a while. Suddenly revealed a smile. Speak up. It seems that I already knew the arrival of this beautiful figure in front of me. Waiting here for General. At the same time, he also looked at the beautiful figure in front of him. It's not a monster. I'm a bit disappointed. But her cold and beautiful appearance, as well as her tall and somewhat exaggerated figure. But it is pleasing to the eye. Can't help but appreciate it. And hear the words. Quenching was taken aback once again and quickly regained her composure. She said anxiously, Hello Taoist, I am Bai Enjing, an old master. Do you know that I am coming to find him? Could you please take me to see him? Under the narration of a girl named Bai Enjing. Zhang Wei knows. Her purpose for coming this time. Bai Enjing. From Yangcheng, where Longhu Mountain is located, the famous Bai family. A few years ago. Old Master Tian, he once promised that if it were the Bai family, it would be impossible to solve the problems related to supernatural beings under normal circumstances. Can you help out once? And Bai Enjing hurriedly arrived at Longhu Mountain. That's why it came. Her grandfather, who was the former head of the Bai family, suddenly became unable to move for some reason, and his health deteriorated day by day. Now, he is on the brink of death. The Bai family has searched for various famous doctors. They are all undetectable. What is the reason? Even, he spent a lot of money to find a slightly famous supernatural person who claimed to be able to eliminate demons. As a result, he came into contact with the old man of the Bai family. When preparing to use the means. Being swallowed by a demon suddenly emerging from the body of the old man Bai. There's not even any residue left. The scene at that time. Until now, it is still deeply engraved in Bai Enjing's mind. Just in retrospect. Let her body tremble uncontrollably with fear. And with the appearance of that evil ghost. Only then did the entire Bai family realize. Mr. Bai. It's being haunted by demons and monsters. I'm possessed. In great anxiety, the Bai family also thought of the Dragon and Tiger Mountain Heavenly Master who had promised to help the Bai family, so Bai Enjing came to seek help. That's the situation, my grandfather can't hold on anymore. Please take me to see the Heavenly Master immediately. As she spoke, Bai Enjing's urgent face showed a pitiful expression. His gaze turned towards the hall. If it weren't for Zhang Wei here. I'm afraid Bai Enjing will rush in directly. Searching for the Heavenly Master. And Zhang Wei, who understood the situation, was somewhat surprised. I didn't expect it. My deceased chief master. And left a mess behind. I came knocking on my door now. There is no intention of rejecting this. Since the old celestial master has passed away, the new celestial master who has received his favor naturally wants to help solve this mess. Coincidentally, Zhang Wei also wants to find a monster. Try your current strength. So he said slowly, my name is Zhang Wei, and I am a good Taoist. But I prefer others to call me the Heavenly Master. Words fall behind. Bai Enjing's anxious expression visibly froze. Seems a bit confused. Oh my God, teacher. Is this unfamiliar young Taoist in front of me a respected Heavenly Master? So what about the old celestial master? Doubts surfaced. Not waiting for her to speak. Zhang Wei's voice rang out again, besides, the old celestial master you mentioned is also my master. Unfortunately, he had already returned to the west by crane a few days ago. Schwa. Upon hearing this, Bai Enjing's face instantly turned pale. It seems like I heard something. What she cannot accept is average. Old celestial master dead. Immediately afterwards, Bai Enjing murmured in a flustered voice, how could? In the sound. Moreover, there is already a hint of crying. My body trembled slightly. But the next moment, as Zhang Wei's voice rang out again, a ray of hope rose in Bai Enjing's heart. However, since it is something that my master has promised, I will take over and help handle it. Watching Bai Enjing, Zhang Wei said calmly. Hear the words. Bai Enjing's gaze was fixed on Zhang Wei, which seemed to be her last hope. Although surprised by Zhang Wei's youth, since she was an apprentice of the old celestial master. He is the new Heavenly Master again. Presumably, he also possesses extraordinary abilities, right? My thoughts are chaotic and complex. Even for Zhang Wei, who is so young in front of him, there is doubt as to whether he has the ability to drive away demons. But Bai Enjing also plans to die and become a living horse doctor. Requesting Zhang Wei's help. Quickly, he said, then I'll rely on you, Master Zhang Wei. If you're willing to help, I'm willing to offer 1 million as a reward for your help. Upon hearing this, Zhang Wei was slightly stunned. I was planning to help, but I didn't expect this person in front of me to be willing to give money. Open your mouth. It's just 1 million. Unexpectedly, she is still a little rich woman. It was an unexpected joy. Thinking of this, Zhang Wei happily agreed. But Bai Enjing. Looking at Zhang Wei's slightly stunned expression. I thought he was short of money. Immediately, he spoke up again and said, 2 million. Zhang Tianshi, I am willing to offer 2 million, please take action. Hear the words. Even if the mood is as plain as Zhang Wei's, be quoted by this. It was a shock. Okay. It was my own mistake, the beautiful girl in front of me is not a little rich woman. She is a very wealthy woman. Just as I was about to speak, I agreed directly. I never thought about it. Bai Enjing, watching Zhang Wei bite lightly without speaking, shouted again, 5 million. Zhang Tianshi, this is the highest price I can offer. If you're still too young, please go with me to the Bai family first. I will discuss it with my family. During her speech, Bai Enjing's expression also appeared somewhat hesitant and heartbroken. Clearly given. The highest price she can offer. Deal. And this time, Zhang Wei directly spoke up and agreed. The heart was shaken. A bit numb. 5 million. Unexpectedly, as the newly appointed Heavenly Master, I have taken a second glance at him. As the saying goes. When young, I don't know how good a rich woman is, but I mistook a young girl for a treasure. And Bai Enjing in front of me. A wealthy woman. She is simply perfect, combining the attributes of a stunning young girl and a wealthy woman, belonging to a beautiful young girl and a wealthy woman that is difficult to find in the whole world. Shocked. Zhang Wei, all that remained in his heart was surprise. Now. The Taoist temple of the Heavenly Master's mansion has the following incense money. It is truly the blessing of the Daoling ancestor. Ding, trigger task. Solve the problem of evil possession encountered by the Bai family. Task reward. Quenching spirit liquid, can be promoted to the level of a Taoist artifact, do you accept it? 4. Quenching liquid, the possibility of being promoted to the flame dragon emperor. You are listening at novel full.audio. Ding, trigger task. Solve the problem of evil possession encountered by the old man of the Bai family. Task reward. Quenching spirit liquid, can be promoted to the level of a Taoist artifact, do you accept it at this moment? The prompt sound from the system came on. Surprisingly, the task was triggered. Let Zhang Wei's eyes brighten up. Immediately, without any hesitation, he chose to accept the task. First is Bai Enjing. Voluntarily donate 5 million incense money. Then there is task triggering. Double happiness is upon us. After accepting the task, Zhang Wei also focused on the task reward. Quenching liquid. Can we elevate the level of Dao tools? Good thing. Looking at the effects of task rewards and spirit quenching liquid, Zhang Wei instinctively thought of several armor pieces stored in Tai Chi crystals. This quenching liquid. I don't know if it can be used for the armor of the Heavenly Way.Emperor armor is naturally not useful. But the flame dragon armor. If it can be elevated to its level. Perhaps it could be promoted to the ultimate armor form that has never appeared in even the main drama. Explosive flame dragon emperor. As for whether it can be as Zhang Wei thought. After the task is completed. Just give it a try and you'll know. If it is impossible to do so, then the spirit-quenching liquid can also give oneself this Heavenly Master Taoist robe. Or use other tools in the future. It's also good. Thinking about it, Zhang Wei also slowly got up from the lounge chair. He stretched lazily and leisurely. Fold the folds on the Taoist robe of the Heavenly Master. Smooth it easily. The original lazy posture. Instantly disappearing. His expression was calm, like a Taoist who seemed to be unaffected by all things in the world and had a pure and refined demeanor. Speaking to Bai Enjing in front of him. Let's go. As the words fell, Bai Enjing, who had previously been extremely urgent, fell silent. But suddenly there was no sound. Her gaze. At this moment, I stared closely at Zhang Wei who stood up in front of me. As Zhang Wei stood up, she suddenly realized. In front of me, this newly appointed young celestial master is so handsome. Sword eyebrow stargazes. Exuding a calm and dusty demeanor throughout. At the neck, there hangs a Tai Chi necklace emitting a faint golden light, paired with the purple Heavenly Master Daoist robe, highlighting an extremely noble aura. At first glance. Like the posture of heaven and humanity. Bai Enjing couldn't help but be a bit stunned. Okay, how handsome. And her appearance. Naturally, Zhang Wei noticed it. He gave a faint smile. What's wrong? Miss Bai can't bear to part with the 5 million yuan incense money, said leisurely words fall behind. Bai Enjing also quickly regained consciousness. My cheeks turned red quietly, and I immediately lowered my head. I seemed a bit shy and hurriedly said, of course not. Let's go. During speech. Bai Enjing quickly turned around. Zhang Wei saw the situation. With a hint of smile on his face, he paced up to Bai Enjing's front. Guide the way down the mountain. Walking room. It seems a bit awkward, wanting to break the somewhat quiet atmosphere right now. Bai Enjing lifted her head. Steadily, he scrutinized the slender figure of Zhang Wei's back. What came to mind? Curiously, Zhang Tianshi asked, when did you become an apprentice to the old master? Why have I met him a few times before, never heard of him, and never seen you? Upon hearing this. Walking non-stop, Zhang Wei smiled. I am not talented. Just 3 days ago, he was adopted by the old master as his own disciple. Today at noon, the ceremony of inheriting the master took place, and he inherited the position of the 65th generation master of the Longhu Mountain Master Mansion. Hear the words. Compared to Zhang Wei, he was calm and indifferent. At this moment, Bai Enjing. Her fair cheeks suddenly stiffened. The whole person was stunned. 3 days ago. The handsome and extraordinary young Zhang Tianshi in front of me was only accepted as a disciple by the old Tianshi 3 days ago. Doesn't that mean he? It's not as imagined at all. Just like the old master. Mastering extraordinary skills. Maybe. Just like myself. It's an ordinary person. In an instant, as if riding a roller coaster, Bai Enjing's mood fluctuated and she felt that her grandfather had been saved because she had invited Zhang Wei to take action. Her face turned pale again. My body and mind only feel flustered. I'm at a loss. Unconsciously, follow in the footsteps of Zhang Wei ahead. The two of them walked confidently to the edge of the cliff. That person built it. The wooden bridge and boardwalk for tourists to walk on are clearly visible. However, Zhang Wei's direction of progress. But it's not at all. The wooden bridge and boardwalk on the left side. But straight. Looking towards the right direction, it seems that there is no walking plank road that appears empty. At a glance, it is the cliff that makes countless people afraid to walk slowly. Until reaching the edge position. Only then can we see. On both sides of the cliff, they are connected by a pitch-black iron rope. With the gentle breeze blowing. Even some slight shaking started. Do you need any help? At this moment, the voice from Zhang Wei slowly sounded. Let Bai Enjing gradually come to her senses. When in front of the line of sight. With just one step, you will fall into a vast abyss connected only by a single iron rope. Comes into view. Bai Enjing. His face instantly turned extremely pale. Even starting to have weak legs. Iron rope. Master Zhang Wei, are you taking this iron rope with you to the other end of the cliff? Open, what a joke. How could it get by? It will die. She is afraid of heights even when walking on wooden bridges and boardwalks, let alone walking on this path. For Bai Enjing, the mortality rate must be a 100% iron rope. Just as Bai Enjing, with a pale face and trembling lips. The position in front of it. Zhang Wei, we have already taken one step forward. Stepped onto the iron rope. Dang! The increase in weight made the iron rope emit a metallic tremor, which is terrifying. Hold on firmly. Immediately afterwards, Zhang Wei's arm extended. Bai Enjing, who was extremely afraid. Immediately instinctive. Then he grabbed Zhang Wei's outstretched arm. However, this catch. It's like getting directly on a pirate ship. Originally able to reverse and turn. The choice to take the wooden bridge and boardwalk. Cut it off directly. Dang! The piercing vibration of the iron rope followed Zhang Wei's footsteps. Buzzing again. Ah! At this moment, Bai Enjing was so scared that she closed her eyes tightly. Scream out loud. But Zhang Wei, on the other hand, walked calmly without paying attention. It seems like what he is stepping on at this moment. Not a thin iron rope. Under my feet, there is not a vast abyss that can shatter my bones. But like walking on a flat ground. Screaming around. In just a few seconds, Zhang Wei and Bai Enjing, who were tightly holding onto him, crossed a 100-meter-long iron rope and reached the other side of the cliff. Miss Bai, when do you still want to hold on to my arm? When Zhang Wei's voice slowly sounded, Bai Enjing's screams suddenly stopped. My eyes slowly opened. I just realized that I had left that iron rope at this moment. Arrived at the other end of the cliff. And myself. At this moment, like a koala tightly embracing Zhang Wei, this big tree, this seemingly intimate posture almost penetrated into Zhang Wei's arms. Ah! With a cry of surprise, Bai Enjing quickly released her grip on Zhang Wei. His face turned extremely red. Originally, the posture of a cold and beautiful woman at the beginning. It has completely disappeared. In front of Zhang Wei. Just like a shy girl. Soon. As the two of them take another step forward. Towards the foot of Longhu Mountain. Slowly leave. 1 hour later. At the foot of the mountain, take the sedan car parked here by Bai Enjing. Keep galloping all the way. Zhang Wei also arrived at the destination of this mission. Bai Family. 5. The Bai Family, shrouded in yin energy, is adorned with golden radiance. You are listening at novel full.audio. Bai Family. As the top family in Yangcheng, what catches the eye is the magnificent architectural complex, located in a bustling area. Surrounding areas on both sides. You can see towering skyscrapers in shopping malls. I don't know how many pedestrians are passing through. Appearing lively and extraordinary. Obviously, with the guidance of a master, a feng shui bureau was formed, and the Bai family's mansion was built in the central area of this feng shui bureau. At the gathering place of surging popularity. The career and financial fortune of the Bai family will thrive day by day. However, in such a feng shui situation that is of great benefit to the Bai family, located in the center at this moment, appears somewhat eerie and silent. And in this silence, there is even a hint of oppression. If outsiders approach, you can all feel a gloomy atmosphere. Like a ghost house. Bang! Amidst the sound of the car door closing, a figure stood in front of the Bai family mansion. Glancing casually with both eyes. A slight coagulation. In Zhang Wei's eyes, the Bai family was like a dark cloud pressing down on the city, and the entire mansion was almost completely shrouded in a jet black mist. Among them, a surge of yin energy rises and surges. It seems like a demon is roaring. With Zhang Wei's arrival, the wisps of yin even formed ghost faces, staring at Zhang Wei coldly, and the Senhan's murderous spirit rushed towards Zhang Wei like a storm. Interesting. What a rich yin energy. Facing this is enough to scare countless people into tears. Cowardly individuals may be directly frightened into fainting scenes. Zhang Wei's expression was calm. Even showing a smile. With a faint evaluation. Beside him, Bai Enjing walked over from the driver's seat, his mind trembling as he looked at his mansion with a hint of fear in his eyes. Obviously, it was Zhang Wei's words. I was scared. Even as an ordinary person, she couldn't even see the yin energy enveloping the Bai family. At most, I feel it. The yin wind is blowing, it's just a bit cold. Zhang Tianshi. The next moment, Bai Enjing's beautiful eyes tightly looked at Zhang Wei, and her tone was panicked and tense, saying, So, is that demon that possessed my grandfather's body very powerful? Seemingly questioning the strength of demons. But the implied meaning. He was worried about whether Zhang Wei could solve this demon. Upon hearing this, Zhang Wei gave a faint glance at Bai Enjing. Isn't it awesome? Just start fighting and you'll know. As he spoke, Zhang Wei walked straight towards the Bai family mansion. And upon hearing such an answer, Bai Enjing. My heart is becoming increasingly uneasy. If she could get a positive answer from Zhang Wei, she might relax a bit, but such an ambiguous answer would make her extremely frightened. Afraid of Zhang Wei. Not a match for that demon, my grandfather will no longer be able to support me. And Zhang Wei will also be killed by that demon. Even the entire Bai family. We will all suffer. But at this moment, the only thing she can do is trust Zhang Wei. Watching Zhang Wei walk into the mansion. Quickly follow behind. Woo! Roar! Unlike the observation on the outside, the moment Zhang Wei stepped into the mansion. As if entering. In the realm of evil, it's average. A gust of Yin wind. At the same time, it was mixed with roars and roars like evil spirits. Those ghost faces formed by Yin energy. And it rushed straight in. Terrifying to the extreme. One of the ghosts transformed by Yin Qi was the first to accompany the howling Yin wind, with a ferocious mouth opening its bloodthirsty mouth as if it was about to bite Zhang Wei. As I watched, this ghost pounced upon me. Distance from Zhang Wei. Amazingly close at hand. That bloody mouth. It seems that in the next moment, it will bite on Zhang Wei's head, and the terrifying hollow eyes will flash with the excitement of being able to devour the human in front of it. Faced with such a crisis. However, Zhang Wei's pace. But it never stopped. His expression was indifferent, as if he had not noticed anything at all. Suddenly, Zhang Wei's gaze shifted. It landed in front of the side. On the roaring Yin Qi ghost. In an instant, a mist-like body was attacked by ghosts. As if frozen in place. Instantly stalled. In the humanized pitch-black pupils, a look of fear appeared as if facing a great enemy. The next moment. The blazing sun-like aura enveloped this evil spirit with a loud roar. Bang! A balloon that seems to expand to the extreme. This Yin Qi is ghostly. Just explode it. The mischievous roar suddenly came to an end, circling around Zhang Wei's ear. A dazzling golden light. In Zhang Wei's eyes. Slightly flickering. Glancing at the numerous surging Yin energy ghosts. Zhang Wei's arm slowly lifted up. A mere ghost of Yin energy. Do you dare to be reckless? At the moment when the last character fell, the dazzling golden light bloomed around Zhang Wei. A golden light suddenly appeared. As if a small sun had appeared out of thin air. Even if it's still daylight. But this radiance instantly illuminates the surrounding area like the night being dispersed. Taoist and magical powers. Golden light curse. This scene made Bai Enjing behind Zhang Wei exclaim in surprise. A dazzling golden light. Let her instinctively. He closed his eyes and after a moment, carefully opened them, tentatively looking ahead at the figure shrouded in golden light. At this moment, staring closely at Zhang Wei's back. Bai Enjing felt as if she was staring at the sun, dazzling to the extreme. Under her gaze. I don't see any movement from Zhang Wei. Under the Taoist robe of the Heavenly Master. The golden light surges forth. In an instant, he detached from Zhang Wei's body. Like a surging wave. Spread out. Roar. At the moment when the golden light appeared, the aura of Jiang enveloped the entire scene, and for a moment, he pounced on Zhang Wei with the ghost transformed by Yin Qi, as if facing a great enemy. All of them emitting a terrifying roar. They fled one after another. Attempting to leave, this area where even just staying will cause them to melt and disappear. However, let these Yin and evil spirits be. How to escape? The golden light spreading out is like a towering wave that destroys everything. Wherever possible. Visible ghosts and ghosts of Yin energy. Like a foam. All will melt and shatter. Between breaths. In the entire front courtyard, all the ghosts and spirits of Yin Qi have been completely extinguished. And at this moment, Zhang Wei. The golden eyes, hidden in the golden light, gazed faintly at the sky above the White Family Mansion. Even though the Yin and ghost in the front yard were swept away, they were still filled with gusts of Yin wind. Like a ghost house. It's eerie and terrifying. Yin energy still envelopes the entire Bai Family Mansion. It's quite eye-catching. Then. Let's break up. Glancing for a moment, Zhang Wei's voice suddenly rang out. I saw his arm. Slowly lift up. The dazzling golden light that enveloped its body instantly stirred up large ripples. Behind me. In Bai Enjing's stunned gaze. Zhang Wei's fingertips brushed through the air. Golden light coagulation silk. Layer by layer diffusion. Like a whip sweeping out, or like a wandering dragon wandering in all directions. Shit. In an instant, it seemed as if flames had ignited the forest. Waves of melting sound rang out. Gold threads are like wandering dragons. Spread to every corner of the Bai Family Mansion. Where it has been. The pervasive Yin energy, the rich pitch black mist, instantly dissipated, and the vast forest cold Yin energy, like black clouds pressing down on the city, dissipated completely. The most intuitive expression. Heron, it was Bai Enjing located behind Zhang Wei. After stepping into the Bai Family Mansion. The eerie coldness that comes from an unknown source, which is instinctively felt both physically and mentally. Disappeared. But in the blink of an eye, the gloomy and black mist enveloped the entire Bai Family Mansion. With Zhang Wei's move. Wave your hand instantly broken. 6. Demons are ecstatic. The best way to kill the Heavenly Master of Longhu Mountain alone. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Who? The gentle breeze blows, and now it is no longer the waves of cold and gloomy wind. Coming face to face only makes people feel uncomfortable. Feeling incredibly comfortable. With the Yin energy enveloping the entire Bai Family Mansion. Completely annihilated. The gloomy and ghostly atmosphere of the Bai family dissipated completely. Restore normal. In the courtyard of the front door of the mansion, the golden light emitting a strong yang aura slowly dissipated, while the source of the golden light enveloped Zhang Wei's body with a dazzling golden light. It's also calming down. Standing in place, Zhang Wei's expression remained calm and indifferent from beginning to end. As if the golden light had just flooded the sky. A scene of annihilating Yin energy. It's normal, but compared to Zhang Wei's blandness. Located behind him. Bai Enjing, however, was deeply shocked and froze in place. Her beautiful eyes widened. Red lips are like cherries. Gently open the micro-opening. The whole person was like petrification, staring tightly at the tall and slender figure ahead, even though the golden light that covered the whole body had already dissipated. But in Bai Enjing's opinion. But it remains, as sacred and majestic as heaven and man. Gold Jin Guang. That seems to be a dazzling golden light like the sun. Is it just Zhang Tianchu's method? Okay, how impressive. Exclaimed in her heart, Bai Enjing also came back to her senses from the deep shock. Her beautiful eyes are rippling. A joyful smile appeared on his face. The original inner worries. All have dissipated. Instead, it was absolute trust in Zhang Wei after witnessing his methods. Great. Zhang Tianchu is so powerful. Presumably, that demon possessed his own grandfather. I should be able to deal with it. In this way, my grandfather will be saved. The miscellaneous soldiers have solved it. Next, let's go meet the main host. I believe he really enjoyed the meeting ceremony just now. After resolving the overwhelming Yin energy, Zhang Wei casually clapped his hands. Speak slowly. The expression is also accompanied by a faint smile. For the power of the golden light curse. Very satisfied. Undoubtedly, it is a full-level golden light curse, but with just the release of breath and simple use, it completely extinguishes the Yin Qi and mist that envelopes the White Family Mansion. This is just a basic Taoist mantra for practicing in the Longhu Mountain Heavenly Master's Mansion. But the power displayed in Zhang Wei's hands. But it's not inferior at all. Any divine power. As the words fell, Zhang Wei walked straight towards the mansion in the front yard. Zhang Tianchu. Wait for me. Behind her, Bai Enjing also hurriedly stepped forward. While exclaiming in surprise. Following Zhang Wei's footsteps closely. At this moment. In a gloomy and eerie room of the Bai family mansion. The elderly figure lying on the bed suddenly opened his eyes. Energy surges. In my eyes, a cold and gloomy expression flashed. And this figure. Impressively, this is the goal of Zhang Wei's downhill mission. The old man of the Bai family. Damn it. Unexpectedly, there's a tough argument coming up. A hoarse voice sounded, not like the old man speaking on his own. It's more like having demons. Controlled his body and murmured to himself. Those cold and gloomy eyes. Looking sideways, as if penetrating the walls of the door and seeing the outside world inside the Bai family mansion, I locked onto a figure. In an instant. The dark pupils suddenly contracted as if seeing something terrifying. What caught his eye? Impressive, it is an incredibly young figure. But the key point. But on its body, it was wearing a purple robe that emitted an instinctively frightening aura. Golden veins. Embroidered with patterns such as the sun, moon, and stars, dragons and phoenixes dancing together, and cranes presenting blessings. Most eye-catching. It is wrapped around numerous patterns. Yin and Yang Bagua like a king. It is remarkable that Heavenly Master Dao Pao. Shua. In an instant, the white old man possessed by demons. Trembling all over. That already depressed to a dark complexion. More and more gloomy. As if facing a great enemy, his entire body suddenly stood up, and even strands of black air rose up from his body, condensing into a black mist phantom resembling a tiger beast. Like a wild cat ready to attack when in danger. Surprisingly, he is a Taoist Heavenly Master. At this moment, the murmuring voice sounded clearly panicked. In the tone. Filled with a hint of fear. But soon. As if he had discovered something, a black light flashed in his dark eyes and said, "No, it's not the old celestial master in my memory who has already passed the age of 100 and is terrifyingly powerful in his means. It's a strange face. Is it the disciple of the old celestial master? Or is it that the old Heavenly Master has died, and the newly inherited Heavenly Master? Regardless of the possibility. So young, it is impossible to master such profound Taoist techniques like that old master. Even. It can dispel the Yin energy that envelopes the entire Bai family mansion. Most likely relying on that body. A purple robe stained with the aura of past Heavenly Masters. Only then can we achieve it. Think of it here. The demon possessed within the body of the old man breathed a heavy sigh of relief, and the fear that appeared when he saw the Taoist robe of the Heavenly Master slowly dissipated. Next, it was replaced. It's a touch of excitement. It's just a little kid with a rough head. I dare to go down the mountain wearing the Heavenly Master Taoist robe to eliminate demons without even mastering Taoist skills. Did you even find yourself? At this moment, the tiger beast demon possessed within the body of the old man Bai. A bold idea suddenly emerged. If I were myself, I could see the young Taoist master in front of me. Kill it. Even, it directly cut off the tradition of Taoism. That's in the demon realm. They are all extremely explosive and can cause a huge uproar, a earth-shattering event. Throughout history. Who can do it? Faced with those dragon and tiger mountain heavenly masters who can rub their hands against thunder. Whenever encountering demons and evil spirits. I can't even escape. No one is immune. All of them perished in the hands of celestial masters throughout history. Don't mention killing the Heavenly Master. Being able to resist in their hands, even injuring the Taoist Heavenly Master, is already a great thing. After all, the Taoist's lightning method is simply the nemesis of all demons and monsters. However, now. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to kill a Heavenly Master from Longhu Mountain. Standing in front of it. This makes the tiger beast demon possessed within the body of the white old man. How to not get excited? If it really succeeds, its position in the demon realm will surely soar like a rocket, and then there will be no need to obey the commands of the Reef Lake Water Queen like now. Bitterly possessed everywhere. Absorb the yang energy of living people. The result is that you cannot absorb it at all on your own, and you have to collect everything and hand it over to the other party. Pure working ghost. As for resistance. The water kuei with hundreds of years of cultivation is not something that can be fought against by only those with 70 years of cultivation. If disobeying orders, greeting it will be the fierce pursuit of the water queen. Compared to others, the young celestial master in front of me, apart from the Taoist robe that exudes the aura of past celestial masters, is a bit threatening. He himself is probably a soft persimmon that can be easily killed. I seem to have thought of the scene where the young celestial master was killed by himself. The corners of its mouth revealed a cruel grin. At this time, in the Bai Family Mansion, dozens of figures were anxiously standing outside a quaint house, their expressions expressing concern and fear. It seems to be waiting. The savior with the ability to eliminate demons has arrived. And 2 figures. Also shuttling around the Bai Family Mansion for a moment. Step on it but not reach it. 7. Are there any other demons in the Bai Family Mansion? You need to pay more. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Enjing hasn't brought that old celestial master back yet. What an evil sect. Why is a well-behaved old man possessed by demons? Did someone use any means to harm our Bai family? I just hope that old master can be more reliable. Don't worry, besides asking Enjing to invite the Dragon and Tiger Mountain Heavenly Master, I have also sent someone to find a more powerful supernatural person who is probably coming soon. The outer side of a quaint house. The sound of conversation echoed continuously. Many people are talking. As I cast my gaze towards the quaint house beside me, an instinctive flash in one's eyes. The color of fear. Just because this house is the one where the old man of the Bai family is now possessed by demons and evil spirits. These dozen or so Bai family members are directly related. I dare not dare at all, or, to put it another way, it was instinctively resisting approach, even entering this room and touching the white old man who had already been possessed by demons. Afraid of being the same as before. Like the supernatural person invited, he was swallowed alive by that demon. I can only hope for it. Send someone to invite strange people and warriors who can exorcise demons to come as soon as possible. Suddenly, there seemed to be someone with sharp eyes. Discovered something. Looking at the main entrance of the courtyard, he exclaimed with joy and excitement, "Look, Enjing has returned." In an instant, everyone's gaze was fixed on the position of the gate. Suddenly, I saw 2 figures. Walk slowly. Suddenly, there was an ecstatic expression as if relieved of a heavy burden, appearing on their faces. But among them. But there were several people, their eyebrows slightly furrowed unconsciously. A sinister and fierce color flashed in his eyes. Dear uncles and uncles, I have brought back the Heavenly Master, my grandfather must have been saved this time. At the main entrance of the courtyard, Bai Enjing and Zhang Wei rushed over and shouted excitedly to the group of Bai family leaders in front of them. And those dozens of people. That's right, quickly welcoming them over. Their gaze. Almost unanimously, it fell on Zhang Wei, who followed Bai Enjing's arrival. Suddenly, those faces were filled with joy. It seems to be stiff. On the faces of numerous members of the Bai family. A hint of surprise flashed through. Wait. Enjing invited him back, why isn't he the old master who promised to help back then? But a young person. It seems that I saw the thoughts of my family. Bai Enjing. He immediately spoke up and said, that old celestial master has passed away. This is the disciple of the old celestial master. What? Not waiting for Bai Enjing to finish speaking. After hearing a few words about the passing of the Heavenly Master. Several members of the Bai family's main lineage. let out a cry of surprise. The expression on his face has changed from joy to shock. That celestial master has actually died. Are you joking? So back then, didn't the other party's offer of help become nothing but empty promises? As for the young Taoist in front of me, according to Bai Enjing's meaning, he is the disciple of the old celestial master. But at this age, I'm afraid I'm only in my early 20s. What other skills can I have besides this celestial master's attire? Even if it's an outsider. They also know that the cultivation of those Taoist people is about years. Those celestial masters with immortal spirit and backbone. Which one has such magical Taoist skills not only when approaching the age of 100 or when one has already reached the age of 100? And the young people in front of me. Even if wearing a Heavenly Master Taoist robe. He is the disciple of the old master. But with a high probability. I'm afraid it's just a vase that doesn't seem useful to me. Time flies. There was no verbal conversation. But on the faces of a few people. Already, a flustered and impatient expression emerged. The hope that just emerged in my heart. Suddenly shattered. Among them, there was a middle-aged man with a trendy Mediterranean hairstyle who angrily walked up to Bai Enjing and scolded, "Enjing, look at what you've done. Surprisingly, the Heavenly Master has already died. Then you should call us quickly and tell us why you brought this guy back." As he spoke, the middle-aged man's gaze met. Stare closely at Zhang Wei. Crying coldly, "I see, you just don't have much ability to cheat. Get out of here and don't cause trouble for me." The sound fell. Bai Enjing was already somewhat stunned. Very puzzled. Looking at the Mediterranean man in front of me. I just feel a bit unfamiliar. That's in my impression. In the past, how could the amiable second uncle suddenly become so irritable, and even make Zhang Tianshi, whom he had invited as a hope, get out of here at a word of disagreement? Just wanted to speak up. Explain that Master Zhang Wei also has extremely strong abilities. But Mediterranean men. Surprisingly, he started directly. Suddenly move forward. I just want to push and shove Zhang Wei out directly. Behind it. No one noticed, several main members of the Bai family. A cold smile appeared at the corner of the mouth. And they. Along with this middle-aged man from the Mediterranean, they were the ones who had a sinister expression in their eyes when they saw Bai Enjing and Zhang Wei rushing over earlier. Looking at the hands of middle-aged Mediterranean men. It will be heavy. Push it onto Zhang Wei's body. Suddenly, this moment can be considered the central point of the entire venue. Zhang Wei's gaze. From that quaint house. Slowly retract. Interesting. The demon possessed by the old man Bai has been staring at him ever since he broke through the Yin energy that enveloped the entire Bai family. An undisguised killing intent. And rich Yin energy. In Zhang Wei's eyes, it surged like a black cloud and overflowed from the room. Bang! Amidst a slight muffled sound. The Mediterranean man's hand, attempting to push Zhang Wei, suddenly hovered in front of him. As if by some invisible force. Given a general stay. A touch of golden light. At this moment, there was a slight flicker in Zhang Wei's eyes, and an interesting smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. Zhang Wei slowly spoke up and said, "Miss Bai, it seems that there is more than just one demon in your family." Words fall behind. There was an almost eerie silence throughout the room. Even Mediterranean men. The outstretched palm hovered in front of Zhang Wei in a strange state of no movement. They were all ignored. What? Are there any other demons? Many members of the Bai family's lineage suddenly exclaimed in surprise. A face full of disbelief. And Bai Enjing. After a brief moment of daze, it seemed like something came to mind as he looked at the Mediterranean man in front of him with an incredulous expression, recalling the words spoken by Zhang Wei. A thought. Emerging. Has my second uncle also been possessed by demons? Bastard. What do you want to do? Release me now. At this moment, the Mediterranean man shouted loudly. A hint of panic flashed in my eyes. Continuously struggling. However, no matter how much he twisted his body, his outstretched arm hovered in the air. There has been no movement at all. Like a clown. In performance, it's like a ridiculous and comical dance. I'll help you handle it, by the way. However, this is an additional transaction fee. We need to add money. Glancing at the stunned Bai Enjing, Zhang Wei said slowly. The next moment, he had a smiling expression on his face. It instantly became cold. With golden eyes flickering, the Mediterranean man struggling ahead said indifferently, "Little evil spirit, who gave you the courage to bark and chatter in front of this Heavenly Master? I also want to touch the Taoist robe of the Heavenly Master. Do you also deserve it?" At the moment when the last word falls. Men in the Mediterranean. Amidst a frightened expression. Buzz. A dazzling burst of golden light. Facing the Mediterranean man. Instantly shrouded away. Ah! I only heard an extremely mournful scream. The face of a Mediterranean man. Twist violently. As if suffering from some terrifying torture. And the most terrifying. But its body was filled with dark and ink-like energy. Under the gaze of a large number of frightened gazes. The whole body suddenly swelled. In an instant, he transformed from a human into a fierce ghost with a terrifying appearance, emitting black energy all over his body. However, the surging pitch black chi. The moment that emerged. He was immediately extinguished by the golden light, and the screams of this fierce ghost came to an abrupt end. Suddenly fell to the ground. His appearance was extremely tragic. I don't know life or death. 8. Task triggered again. 30 years of cultivation. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Second uncle. The golden light shone brightly, watching the terrifying ghost falling to the ground under cover and screaming in agony. Bai Enjing. Some couldn't believe it and murmured in terror. Completely unacceptable. The fact that one's own family has turned from a human to a terrifying demon in the blink of an eye. And other members of the Bai family's main lineage. Seeing this behind the scenes. Even more screaming. Running towards the surroundings, some of them collapsed to the ground in fear. Obviously, I was scared by this scene. Hear the sound. Zhang Wei casually glanced at Bai Enjing and said calmly, "My mind has been taken away by the fierce ghost and my body has been completely occupied. It's hopeless." During speech, Zhang Wei withdrew his gaze and looked towards the air ahead. It seems like I heard something. Like a pleasant melody. Show a smile. Ding, trigger task. Kill the remaining evil demons in the White Family Mansion. Task reward. 30 years of cultivation, true understanding of Taoism. Do you accept it? At this moment, Zhang Wei suddenly triggered the mission again. The system's prompt sound is on. The rewards given. It's very generous. 30 years of cultivation. You should know. The initial reward, the Heavenly Master degree cultivation inheritance given is only 100 years old. 30 years of cultivation reward. Surprisingly reaching 1/3 of it. And the true interpretation of Dao Lu. It is even more powerful. Among them, it contains all the mystical talismans that Taoism has various effects on. Receive this reward. Zhang Wei will be able to understand and use various talismans. Increase the means. With a sudden thought in mind, choose to accept the task. Zhang Wei withdrew his gaze. Look ahead under your feet. The fierce ghost demon, already on the brink of death, was washed away by the golden light. Zhang Wei waved his sleeve and robe. Raise your arm and flick your fingertips casually. in the flickering golden light. Like a bullet, it hit the body of the fierce ghost and completely killed it. A black mist-like body, gradually disappearing. And by Zhang Wei's ear, a prompt sound from the system rang out once again. Ding! Congratulations to the host for killing the fierce ghost and earning points +5. Only 5 points of integration. Upon hearing the prompt, Zhang Wei was slightly taken aback. But thinking of this fierce ghost, most likely, it's just a miscellaneous fish-like commodity. Immediately relieved. Previously, the ghosts in the courtyard that were solved when stepping into the Bai Family Mansion were not considered demons and ghosts due to their transformation by yin qi, so there was no reward for points. At the next moment, his gaze swept over the main members of the Bai family present. That looks like a human figure. But just like the Mediterranean man who was killed by Zhang Wei, he has also been completely taken away, trying to escape among many members of the Bai family, trying to hide the fierce ghost that is suppressed in his body and dare not reveal any yin energy. But there is no escape at all. There are still 3 more. The plain words rang out, but among the fleeing crowd, the 3 figures changed their expressions dramatically. I originally thought the companion of the Mediterranean man possessed by a fierce ghost, eliminated by the young celestial master's intervention. It's just a coincidence. But it was completely unexpected that they were constantly under each other's gaze. Seems to have nowhere to hide. Originally, I wanted to blend in with the Bai family members and escape first. Suddenly shattered. Immediately, the faces of the 3 twisted. Extremely suppressed within the body. Dare not reveal any yin energy. Burst with a bang. Woo! Like a demon roaring, a dark mist like yin qi instantly rises out. In an instant, in the courtyard outside the house, the yin wind howls in waves. 3 figures. In an instant, it turned into a terrifying and fierce ghost. Ah! This sudden change made the fleeing members of the Bai family scream with fear again. I didn't expect it at all. Just now, I followed my relatives who were fleeing in the same direction. Suddenly, transformed into terrifying ghosts and monsters. Such a close distance. The wisps of yin qi even rushed towards their faces and slapped them, making them instinctively feel a chill and suffocation. Suddenly, a few people were so frightened that they fainted. Fall straight onto the ground. Hands on. Take hostages, threaten him. In the midst of the surging yin energy, 3 fierce ghosts transformed into their own bodies roared. 2 of them. Watching being discovered and unable to escape. I plan to take the lead in attacking. Seize the opportunity. And the remaining fierce ghost, undoubtedly much smarter, went straight towards the members of the Bai family next to him, trying to use it as a hostage to make the young, shameless but terrifying Taoist Heavenly Master. Be wary of it. So, get the opportunity to escape. Just kidding. This is the Taoist Heavenly Master. Throughout history and modern times, any fierce ghost that meets you doesn't just turn around and run away. Being able to escape by chance is fortunate for ghosts. Now, my 2 foolish companions. How dare you launch an attack without thinking about how to run? This is not lighting up in a pit. Purely seeking death. Go to hell. A dark wind came rolling in, and 2 fierce ghosts with black mist like claws cut through the air. Grabbed towards Zhang Wei's head. How dare you resist? Courage is commendable. Faced with the fierce attacks of 2 fierce ghosts, Zhang Wei raised a slightly disdainful smile at the corner of his mouth. Just lifted arm. Fingertips flicked again. The golden light suddenly appeared, condensed like a beam of light, and instantly broke through the black mist and yin qi surging around the fierce ghost's body, then piercing through the black mist like bodies of the 2 fierce ghosts, leaving a void that could clearly see the scene behind. In the dim eyes. Still maintaining its original fierce and cunning demeanor. Not even a scream was made. The body disintegrated and vanished, completely disappearing. However, in between breaths, two companions attempting to attack first. I was killed. Let the remaining third fierce ghost feel like the soul of the deceased is surging and piercing all over its body. The action of grabbing towards the members of the Bai family is getting faster and faster. At this moment, that is within reach. It seems like a short distance that can be easily touched with a wave, as far away as an abyss spanning between heaven and earth. Hurry up! Hurry up! In front of me, members of the Bai family screamed in fear. In the eyes of this fierce ghost, suddenly became its life-saving talisman. However, as he gazed at his black mist-like claws, he was about to touch the member of the Bai family. Shoo! The dazzling golden light suddenly bloomed in the afterglow of the sharp ghost's perspective. And in the blink of an eye, completely occupying the entire field of view. That is the golden beam that roared under Zhang Wei's control after eliminating the two fierce ghosts. Bang! Yin Qi exploded, and the head of the fierce ghost was directly blasted by the golden light. The sharp claws that were about to catch the members of the Bai family gradually disintegrated under their frightened gaze and dissipated into the air. Ding! Congratulations to the host for killing the fierce ghost and earning points +5. Ding! Points +5. Integral +10. At this point, four fierce ghosts have taken away members of the Bai family's main lineage. All were killed by Zhang Wei. Upon hearing the sound of a point acquisition prompt in the ear, Zhang Wei raised his eyebrows. Something unexpected. The last fierce ghost that was killed was actually given 10 points. Think about it too. I still know how to take hostages to save my life. Compared to the other 3 fierce ghosts, I don't know how much smarter they are. Although it's just a meaningless struggle, it seems that smart ghosts are still better. They even earn 5 points more points after killing. Ding! Congratulations to the host for completing the task and receiving the reward. 30 years of cultivation and true understanding of the Tao. As the system beeps again. The second task triggered. Completed. Zhang Wei's introverted aura suddenly fluctuated for an instant, becoming increasingly profound and long-lasting. It is remarkable that one's cultivation has been improved. And in my mind, all knowledge about the true interpretation of Taoist scriptures, as well as insights into various symbols, emerge. Quickly absorbed by Zhang Wei. When Zhang Wei opened his eyes again, on his face, a satisfied smile appeared. This Taoist scripture truly understands. That's really good. It records Taoist talismans that contain various effects. It can be said that it is not a supernatural ability. But it's even worse. As the rewards for completing the task were distributed, Zhang Wei's gaze ignored the panicked and even fainting members of the Bai family present. Looking towards the house not far away. Since the miscellaneous fish have been resolved. So next, it's also the Lord's turn. 9. Bai family, do you have the bloodline of light and shadow village gold? You are listening at novel.full.audio. Miss Bai. In the oppressive and silent courtyard. A flat voice sounded. Let Bai Enjing, who was stagnant like petrification, slowly come back to her senses. Subconsciously looking towards the source of sound. Time flies. Then he intertwined with a gaze. It is Zhang Wei who stands out. Inexplicably, upon seeing the handsome celestial master's indifferent gaze in front of him, Bai Enjing's complex emotions filled with disbelief and fear slowly subsided. Zhang Tianshi. His eyes turned slightly red, and Bai Enjing murmured in a trembling voice. Feeling on Zhang Wei. Invisible, exuding a sense of security. Bai Enjing's instinct. She had the thought of wanting to immediately plunge into Zhang Wei's arms and seek some comfort. But her rationality. However, let her take this absurd idea. Press tightly in your heart. Next. I need to start dealing with the demons that are possessed within your grandfather's body. If possible, why don't you find some yellow paper and cinnabar to give me? Zhang Wei slowly spoke as he gazed at Bai Enjing beside him. Hear the words. Bai Enjing was momentarily taken aback. Immediately, he nodded his head and said hastily, yes. Yes, I bought a lot of these things to treat Grandpa before. I'll bring you as much as you need, Zhang Tianshi. Upon hearing this, Zhang Wei gave a faint smile. Nature is better with more. As the words fell, Bai Enjing nodded again. I thought Zhang Wei would need to use cinnabar yellow paper to deal with the demon possessed by his grandfather next. When even with long legs. Quickly run away. Seeing this, Zhang Wei also took steps forward. Walk towards the quaint house. Deal with that demon. Do you need talismans? With 130 years of cultivation now, paired with a full-level golden light mantra. No other means are needed at all. The reason is that Bai Enjing was asked to take necessary items such as cinnabar and yellow paper to make talismans. It's naturally because of Zhang Wei. I want to pick up some wool easily. After all, there is no need to waste time and money buying things that can be obtained with just one's mouth open. The Bai family is a big family. Items such as yellow paper and cinnabar purchased. The quality is naturally excellent. If Bai Enjing had brought back enough, perhaps he wouldn't have had to buy these essential items for making talismans in his lifetime. Pada. The sound of gentle footsteps kept ringing. In the courtyard. The remaining members of the Bai family, who were not frightened and fainted. Watching Zhang Wei walking towards the house. His face was stunned. At this moment, as Zhang Wei took action to kill 4 fierce ghosts, they had no further doubts about Zhang Wei, the disciple of the deceased celestial master, in their hearts. Staring closely at his back. Just because they know. Next, this incredibly young master Zhang Wei will deal with the terrifying demon that possessed the old man. The sound of footsteps echoed in my ears. It doesn't seem like dealing with terrifying demons. The heaviness of facing death as if returning home. On the contrary, it feels more like a leisurely and plain outing. Under their gaze. Creak. The door was pushed open, and Zhang Wei's figure stepped into it. Immediately, the quaint wooden door. Amidst the gaze of the road. Slowly and tightly close. The entire courtyard fell into silence once again. The antique and fragrant interior. Zhang Wei stepped into it. Glancing casually at the scene inside the room, there was no surge of yin energy. Extremely normal. On the bed, an old man with white hair was lying flat. It seems to be sleeping. Completely, there is no sign of being possessed by demons. As if in Bai Enjing's mouth. Old man Bai, being possessed by demons is like a false lie. Is it Enjing? As if hearing footsteps, the old man on the bed slowly opened his eyes. It's a bit difficult. Support your body and sit up. Look at the position at the door. Upon seeing it, it was not his granddaughter but a handsome young man who had never seen him wearing a purple robe before. The old man Bai was slightly taken aback. But then, looking at the familiar purple Taoist robe, he seemed to think of something and his expression became somewhat excited. Are you the Taoist priest of the Longhu Mountain Heavenly Master's mansion? Invited by Miss Bai, come and deal with the demon in your body, old man. Upon hearing the sound of aging, Zhang Wei kept moving closer to the bed. At the same time, speak up. Looking at the old man in front of me, besides his pale and thin face, he looked like a normal person. In Zhang Wei's eyes. It also flashed, with a curious expression. In the courtyard just now. The few fierce ghosts that were killed, like miscellaneous fish, have completely taken away and eroded the members of the Bai family. And in front of me. The demon inside the white old man's body. Without a doubt. It must be much stronger than those few fierce ghosts. However, this old man, being possessed for many days, it was supposed to have absorbed all the yang energy and died in a short period of time, but it still maintained its life until its arrival now. This situation. Undoubtedly, it is very strange. In Zhang Wei's view, this old man Bai must have some special qualities. Either there is some treasure. Resisted the erosion of yin qi. Either it is a special constitution. I was able to support myself and have not yet been absorbed by that demon to die. That's great. Cough cough, Taoist, please make sure to save me. With an excited expression, the old man on the bed extended his arm towards Zhang Wei. Seems to want to grab Zhang Wei's arm. Begging him. Help yourself. Such actions may seem normal, but undoubtedly carry a certain degree of danger. After all, no one knows. Is this a demon? Controlling Mr. Bai to make such a move, he suddenly launched a surprise attack when he touched Zhang Wei's arm. Zhang Wei appeared calm about this. Gently extend your hand. Helped by him, the old man Bai almost fell off the bed due to excitement and instability. Taking advantage of the situation, I grabbed his wrist. In a pulse-picking posture. Exploring something. At the same time, he spoke up and said, "Don't worry, since I'm here, you'll be fine." During speech. In Zhang Wei's eyes, it seemed that he had detected something through his pulse. A flash of surprise flashed across. The old man in front of me. There is no treasure on its body that can resist the erosion of demons, and there is only one reason why it can sustain itself until now. That's his bloodline. Under Zhang Wei's perception. In its blood, there is a sharpness like a sharp blade. Constantly resisting the surging yin energy that is spreading throughout the body and crazily eroding. This bloodline. Impressive, it is the bloodline of gold. Bai family. This old man Bai is actually a descendant of the light and shadow village with the 5 elements bloodline. In Zhang Wei's surprise. When there is a slight daze. Mr. Bai continued in an excited voice, "Taoist, with your words, I can rest assured. I believe you can definitely save me. Speak and speak." But it became increasingly gloomy. Even appearing somewhat eerie, the voice was constantly stretched. "Help me." At the end of the speech, the voice was like a howling wind, like the roar and sharp roar of a wild beast. I don't know when. The body of the white old man. Already, shrouded in the rising yin energy of the Tao. His expression twisted like a demon. Staring intently at Zhang Wei's eyes, a bloodthirsty and murderous gleam flashed through, and an eerie grin appeared at the corner of his mouth. Shua. Suddenly, the old man Bai was not caught by Zhang Wei's left hand, which was picking the pulse. At such a close distance. Like a blade. Towards Zhang Wei's heart. Fierce thrust. If it hits, this blow may directly penetrate the body and damage the heart. At this critical moment. Zhang Wei moved. 10. Playing with the sneak attack demon tiger. You have already taken death. You are listening at novel full.audio. Go to hell. Sharp and piercing, as in the roar of a demon. Palm covered by yin qi. Thoroughly pierced Zhang Wei's heart pit. This sudden blow seemed to have caught Zhang Wei's stunned spirit, with no possibility of avoiding it at all. Bang. However, the next moment. I only heard a muffled sound like the clash of gold and iron exploding inside the house. In front of Zhang Wei. Old man Bai, the palm that is as close as a knife and pierced by yin qi. At this moment it was 2 fingers shining with golden light. Pinch it and blocked it. Gazing at the white old man whose body was surrounded by yin energy. Zhang Wei's expression was plain. It seems that this sudden surprise attack was just as he had anticipated. And in his gaze. It was a flash of surprise, like a sigh. I didn't expect it. The reason why this white old man was able to resist the erosion and absorption of yang energy by demons for several days was actually his own bloodline. The 5 elements bloodline. The bloodline of gold. Previously, Zhang Wei had no idea that there were descendants of Guangying village in this world. But think about it too. I have gained recognition from the will of the Heavenly Way and obtained the armor of the Emperor. So there are people with the 5 elements bloodline. It's actually normal. Thoughts flashed by. Zhang Wei immediately set his gaze on the old man Bai. The surging yin energy surged throughout his body. Vaguely, it seemed as if one could see a sinister and gloomy face staring at them intently. Not bad. The timing of the surprise attack was quite accurate, but the force was still a bit weak. Zhang Wei said calmly, as if only explaining the facts without any emotional fluctuations. But to outsiders. But it seems to be filled with a hint of mockery. As soon as the words come out, the white old man's face, which appeared grim under the control of demons, became increasingly dark and twisted. Little strength. Stinky Taoist, could you give me a try to block the next blow? Smiling grimly and roaring. Mr. Bai's 2 hands were grabbed by Zhang Wei in a pulse-picking posture, while the other hand, which had just launched an attack, was sandwiched between his fingers, seemingly bound and losing its means of attack. However, in the eyes of demons. At this moment, Zhang Wei. The same goes for it. Shua. The yin energy was rolling, and in an instant, the surging yin energy around the white old man's body. Unexpectedly, all of them gathered together. It seemed to have detached from his body and formed a pitch-black mist, roaring towards Zhang Wei's head like a shell. Facing such a situation. Compared to the raid just now, it is undoubtedly a much stronger attack. Zhang Wei is neither tight nor slow. Release the 2 fingers that held onto the white old man's palm. Sleeves and robes sway. Palm, towards the howling black mist air mass, slapping away casually. Watching. That plain and fair palm. Just about to collide with the terrifying black mist. Amidst the pitch-black mist. Seems to have unreal and ferocious eyes, flashing a hint of fierce blood. Right now. Suddenly, a forest cold felt like falling into an ice cave. Fully enveloped the entire room. A gust of yin wind. In the shadow of the corner, compared to the yin qi that gathered around the white old man into a black mist, an inexplicable amount of terrifying aura erupted, expanding in an instant to form a tiger beast that occupied half of the room. Impressively, it was the tiger beast demon possessed within the body of the old man Bai. Its true essence. Just now, what possessed the white old master to attack was only a small amount of yin qi left behind by him being controlled in secret. And its essence suddenly exploded. A surprise attack launched. That's right, this tiger beast demon really wants to kill Zhang Wei. Roar. A deafening roar. Loud throughout the entire house. Amidst the waves of sound. Like a shockwave, causing the windows on all 4 walls to suddenly burst and shatter, swinging towards the outside of the house. Let the outside of the house. For a moment, there were screams of panic from members of the Bai family. Inside the house. Forest cold, mixed with surging yin energy, the suffocating demonic aura spreads. Where it has been. Tables, chairs, flower pots, and everything else. Unexpectedly, all of them were crushed into pieces. Destroy it all. Even the entire house, in this explosive and terrifying atmosphere. They all shook violently. On the wall. Even large-scale cracks appeared. Spread in sequence like a spider web. It seems like it will collapse at any moment. The source of such commotion was the moment when the tiger beast demon with a huge body emerged from the shadow in the corner, and its blood-red ferocious eyes immediately locked onto Zhang Wei's position. The demonic aura surged and surged. Bloodthirsty, he suddenly opened his mouth and launched a surprise attack from behind Zhang Wei. Amidst the howling wind pressure. Dong! The massive body stomped on the floor and headed straight towards Zhang Wei, gnawing on it. Surprisingly, it was an attempt to remove the head of this newly appointed Taoist Heavenly Master. Give it a bite. And with the sneak attack of tiger beasts and demons. That's so huge. Fully occupying half of the body of the house. Even if it's just a slight movement. It is enough to bring this house, which has been washed away by demonic energy and has a large area of cracks, to its limit. Click. Accompanied by the sound of fragmentation. Unexpectedly, it can no longer be supported. The whole house collapsed with a loud bang. Time flies. Located in the room, what is happening at this moment is fully visible to everyone outside. When that massive tiger beast demon. The moment that caught my eye. A scream of terror. Stop abruptly. A pale and fearful expression appeared on everyone's face. It seems like I was scared out of my wits. And in my mind. There is only one thought left. That's the Heavenly Master Taoist whom they regarded as their hope, as well as their own old man. Dead set. At this moment, at the main entrance of the courtyard. A tall figure quickly ran over. His expression appeared urgent. With both hands tightly holding onto a sandalwood box, he followed Zhang Wei's instructions to search for the yellow paper and the Bai Enjing of cinnabar. I thought Zhang Wei. She needs to use these things to deal with that demon. After receiving it. Immediately, he rushed back at the fastest speed possible. However, the moment you step into the courtyard. Appearing in her line of sight. Heron, it is a demon tiger beast that can be described as a huge creature, shrouded in black mist, with a scene of its bloodthirsty mouth wide open. Bai Enjing steps. Suddenly, there was a pause. In an instant, there was only one thought that first appeared in the blank mind. Isn't it that you need yellow paper cinnabar? How does the Heavenly Master deal with demons? Has the fight already started? But in the next moment, Bai Enjing's face immediately lost its color, and she looked at the scene ahead as pale as snow and frightened. Just because. That demonic tiger beast, its bloodthirsty and biting position. Impressively, it was Zhang Wei with his back to it. And the white old man on the bed. Master Zhang. There was only enough time to let out a scream of terror, as Bai Enjing stared helplessly. That demon tiger beast. The open bloodthirsty mouth has already reached Zhang Wei's head. Under the shadow of ink. Fierce gnawing down. It seems that he is about to die in the mouth of the demon tiger beast. At this moment. Ahead, there is a cloud of yin qi and mist that is within reach and contains powerful power to bombard the head. And the position behind it. It is a massive tiger beast demon, with a crazy and ferocious blood flashing in its eyes. And the bloody jaws that come from biting. Zhang Wei's situation. As if trapped in a situation where death is inevitable. Under the gaze of a large number of fearful gazes. At this moment, Zhang Wei. His expression was calm, as if he had never noticed the demon, tiger, or beast behind him. His fair palm still slapped towards the pitch-black mist. But at the corner of his mouth. However, he raised a faint smile. A surprise attack. With such actions, this demon tiger beast has a way to take death. Next moment, bang. The thundering sound like a copper bell, accompanied by the sweeping waves spreading in all directions. In that rolling and surging demonic aura like black mist. I saw a glimmer of gold. Like the rising sun. Suddenly dispelled the darkness. Brilliant bloom. The dazzling radiance made the Bai family members, whose expressions were somewhat frightened and dull. I couldn't help but instinctively close my eyes. When you open your eyes again. What appeared in my eyes was a figure shrouded in golden light, completely undamaged by the bites of tiger beasts and demons. And Zhang Wei's calm voice. It also sounded slowly,